dying behind bars. A look at the deaths of 6 inmates, including one who was allegedly killed at the Oklahoma County Jail.
An unwanted birthday surprise, and Edmond teens quick thinking that helped police catch a burglary suspect.
Business booming, possibly because of the pandemic.
And it feels like you go back in time as soon as you drive through the gate.
Oklahoma City's only drive-in theater opening earlier than usual as locals search for normalcy in the time of COVID-19.
Live, local, late breaking. This is KOCO 5 News at 10.
6 inmates have died inside the Oklahoma County Jail since mid-December. I'm Jessica Shambach.
I'm Evan Onstott. The most recent death, Parker Stevens, who was found unresponsive in his cell yesterday. Last month, Brad Lane was allegedly killed by his cellmate.
KOCO's Portia Riley joining us tonight from the county jail after speaking exclusively with Lane's girlfriend. And Portia, she told you, quote, something has to change.
Yes, Jess, she says that jail shouldn't be a death sentence, especially people like Lane in for a nonviolent offense. She and his family now demanding justice and accountability.
No family should go through this. It's rough. You know, it tears everything apart. Everything you had planned, everything you thought your future was going to be, it's all gone.
Keep your hands and your feet inside the vehicle.
For Crystal Oldham, it's memories like this she cherishes most. Her boyfriend Brad Lane and 1.5-year-old bonding as father and daughter.
They just had this connection.
Lane arrested on stolen vehicle and drug charges, allegedly beat to death by a cellmate at the Oklahoma County Jail early last month.
And he didn't deserve that. And he was in a place that was supposed to protect him. And that's what bothers me the most. You know, I thought they'd be okay.
Lane, one of 6 dying at the jail since mid-December. The others, Parker Stevens, Eddie Hollins, Michael Williams, Roderick Thompson, and Juan Marquez.
It's awful.
Lane's family currently in the process of taking legal action, hoping their fight for justice leads to change.
Getting justice is everything. I have these bracelets, justice for Brad Lane.
I've reached out to the jail trust for comment numerous times since yesterday and haven't heard back, but I'll be sure to keep you posted. For now, live in Oklahoma City, Portia Riley, KOCO 5 News. Back to you.
Portia, thank you. A major story tonight, the weather is changing. Chief Meteorologist Damon Lane in now with the timeline for you. Damon?
Yeah, and while we had some pretty strong winds today and a cold front came through here, the winds have come down, temperatures have come down a bit, but this is not that big cold air mass that we're talking about. Yeah, it's chilly right now. Cherokee at 28, Blackwell right now at 30, Perry right now at 28 degrees. But the cold that we have moving in is going to be some of the coldest air that we have seen in decades. The last time we saw a stretch where temperatures were below freezing for 6 days in a row, you got to go all the way back to 1996. Now the big story is, when will this cold move out? I'll show you coming up. Back to you.
All right, Damon, thanks very much. A young Edmond teenager had just about the scariest birthday you can imagine. Someone broke into her house while she was there home alone. Tonight, KOCO has obtained both her 911 call and body camera video from police who rushed to help her.
911, what's the location of your emergency?
Hiding in her bathroom, a terrified teenager home alone dared only to whisper.
Hello? Hello? Hi, how can I help you?
Somebody just broke into my house.
Edmond police say 25-year-old Roy Whittington had broken the glass and crawled through a window, leaving a trail of blood and muddy footprints inside.
How old are you?
I just turned 15 today.
The home on the 600 block of North Boulevard, very close to a police station. Officers arriving just 2 minutes after getting her address.
I hear the cop car.
Yeah, they should be pulling up in just a second. Just stay on the phone with me, okay?
I got a subject in the alley going southbound Black. Hey, stay right there!
Whittington eventually stopped running a few blocks away.
Get on the ground and let me see your hands, both of them! Both of them!
At the scene, he told our officers that he was drunk and that was a house that he grew up in. So I'm not sure he was even aware of what he was doing.
It sounds like they might have caught somebody, okay? Police officers are all there.
Thank you for helping me.
You're welcome. I'm glad everything's okay.
Yeah, I'm glad too. Whittington was treated for a cut on his hand and then taken to jail. He's being charged with burglary, public intoxication, and obstructing an officer. COVID hospitalizations in Oklahoma continuing to go down. 1,051 people currently in the hospital with coronavirus tonight. There are almost 2,800 new COVID-19 cases tonight in Oklahoma. Health officials reporting 27 more deaths today. And right now, more than 26,000 Oklahomans are actively working to recover from coronavirus.
Tonight, Oklahoma says it has now given out more than 500,000 total doses of the COVID vaccine. Nearly 393,000 Oklahomans have received their first dose, and of that, nearly 119,000 have gotten their second. Right now, the state is averaging about 9,500 shots a day, but the health department says they expect to receive 5% more doses this week than they did last week.
A local working mother horrified to learn that masks are not required in daycare facilities, and now she is working to change the rule. KOCO's Abigail Ogle joining us here in studio. Abby, you spoke to that mom today.
Yeah, that's right. Emily Kyle is a local mom. She's a realtor. She was just looking for some child care just a few hours a day while she showed homes. She found a location, dropped her baby off, and then looked at the security cameras to check in.
But I left, and on the cameras, I noticed that all the staff had no mask on, and I was just shocked.
Emily tells me she assumed it was law to wear a mask, especially for someone caring for her 14-month-old son, Theo.
We thought that it was totally a mandatory thing, because why wouldn't it be?
She looked into it and learned daycare workers do not have to wear masks.
You can't go to Target, you can't go to the gas station. A server is required, everyone is required to wear a mask, so why is childcare not? It's just shocking.
So I reached out to Oklahoma City to get some clarification on the current mask ordinance. I was told health officials recommend face coverings in public for anyone over the age of 3, but it's at the discretion of the daycare operator. Emily says she asked the daycare why they weren't wearing masks.
We have decided not to wear masks because it upsets the children.
And now, essentially, you've decided to take matters into your own hands with this petition. What are you hoping to accomplish?
On change.org for Governor Stitt, that just basically said child care facilities, masks for all employees should be required. I just feel like we should be doing the best that we can to protect our community, our families, and our children.
Well, I also reached out to DHS on this story. They said their guidance to child care programs includes following CDC and Oklahoma State Health Department guidelines. Guys, back to you.
Abby, thanks very much. New tonight at 10 o'clock, the University of Oklahoma is planning to hold in-person graduation ceremonies this May. The pandemic forced spring and fall 2020 ceremonies to go virtual. OU says they will hold 6 ceremonies for this year's grads. Those who missed out on walking across the stage last year will also be invited to participate.
A crisis even after the virus is under control. Many will face economic and social challenges post-pandemic. KOCO's Alejandro Briones takes a look tonight at how the Latino community will be affected.
The crisis is not COVID. The crisis was coming after COVID.
The Latino community, like other communities of color, have disproportionately been affected by COVID-19. Hispanics make up 17% of the population in Oklahoma County. The health department saying of that, nearly 14% have tested positive and about 11% have died from the virus.
Our parents are out there hustling, trying to find anything that they could bring money to the house for.
Dr. Raul Font with the Latino Community Development Agency says Latinos are hurting in education and in the workforce.
Will these small little mom and pop places, businesses be able to recuperate? I don't think so. Because there's no money, there's no federal dollars that they qualify for whatever reason.
That could include being undocumented or not doing their financial practices through banks. In education, kids are falling behind, especially English language learners.
What's going to happen next year if we're normal and that population of kids are not ready to go to that next level?
Higher education students also suffering. Many Latinos who don't qualify for financial aid rely on their jobs to pay for school. Some of them are without work right now.
We're seeing a major group of Latinos quitting school and college because they don't have enough money.
Dr. Font says it's going to take the effort of the community to get Latinos and marginal workers back on the job.
We are in a crossroads where I think that these diversity and inclusion words that we speak of need to happen stronger.
Alejandra Briones, KOCO 5 News.
And you can find more stories just like this one on KOCO 5 News in the morning.
And coming up, we are shining a light on communities facing homelessness, the disparities for people of color, plus looking for normalcy during the pandemic. Straight ahead, business seems to be booming for Oklahoma City's only drive-in movie theater.
And extreme cold is rolling this way. Which days you can now expect wind chills next week to fall below zero, and more importantly, when all of this cold will move out, coming up.
And Black History Month continues tomorrow, and so does our initiative to shine a light on stories from the Black community, as well as bring more attention to their fight for equality.
We've had a lot of people that referred to the death of George Floyd as sort of this turning point for this modern day movement.
That was it.
Do you think that's true?
Yes, I do believe that's true. And then there were several others, Michael Brown and several others. But the thing is, you didn't actually see. You were just going by what you were told. But you saw George Floyd. You saw him laying on the ground, gasping for breath, calling for his mama. I mean, it was there in plain sight. So how could you deny that?
Patricia Brown sharing her story with our sister station in Omaha, Nebraska. Brown taking us through the day she broke bread with Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and the lasting impact he had on her future in activism. You can find our comparison of the civil rights movements of the 60s to the recent push for equity on KOCO 5 News in the morning tomorrow at 9 a.m. We hope to join us. We'll be right back.